You're overwhelmed, you're overstretched, you're yelling, you're screaming at the children. You claim you're staying for the children, but yet you're constantly yelling at them. You're using corporal punishment. You're even silent treatment, stonewalling your kids. You literally start to get so overwhelmed, so overstretched, and you're disregarded. There's lack of empathy, there's lack of care on your partner. Are you staying for the children? Or are you staying because you're afraid? Or are you staying because of your ego? Which one is it? Are you in, should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Are you feeling dizzy from all these questions you're asking yourself just to make the relationship work? Is this struggle love? Does this relationship have hope? Where are you in it? Are you lost with him and losing yourself?
Believe that every time I hear people and you're in a relationship and you're staying because of the children, I just want you to know you need to wake up. If you believe that your children are going to be fine, they're not. No child in their right mind would ever want to see their mother depressed, crying in tears. As children, they know something's wrong. So if you sit there and you just say, I'm there for the children need their father. No, they don't. They'll have split custody regardless at the end of the day, and you can go away with your life and be happy. It hurts me to see people in pain. And all my friends and my family, it hurts if you're sitting there and you're accepting that this is your life every single day, whether you're going to be depressed, crying, anxiety, depression. This is not supposed to be how it ends. When you leave, this is a new beginning. So everybody that says, oh, I got to stay there for my kids. No, your kids are going to think that this is normal. How your narcissistic partner is going to be acting this way. Your son and your daughter are going to pick up these traits and they think it's normal. So before you stay there just because of the kids, what if you stay there and you know you're going to damage your kids? You love your kids, right? So what do? You pick up and you go. As hard as it's going to be. It's going to be tough to look back, but you don't look back. Stop. You need to look forward and look at the future for your children. I want you happy.
I want to share with you a story, a conversation from a new client that brought about a topic that I hear a lot, and this is going to be uncomfortable for some people, but I want to share with you what I shared with her. It's my hope that what I share will be a blessing to you the way it helped her. 33 years old. She's been married for 7 years. She and her husband have 2 children together. And throughout the last 4 years of her marriage to present, she's indicated that she has endured emotional abuse. Her husband has had a child with someone else while in the marriage. And that, in essence, is the crux of a lot of the things that she is currently experiencing. I asked her when she came to me, I said, what's the purpose of coming to talk to me? She has a therapist. She has requested of him that they go to therapy. He's not interested. And now she has a coach in me. I said, what is the purpose of coming to me? She said, well, I came to you because I'm trying to figure out what I should do. I said, what are your non-negotiables? She said, what do you mean? I said, what are those things in your life that you have to have, those things in your life that you will not tolerate? She said, well, I've thought about that. She said, but I don't know if I've quite vocalized it or verbalized it or even recorded it. I said, okay, that's fair. I said, so what is your gut telling you to do? I said, I'm not suggesting that your gut is always right, but what is your gut telling you to do? She said that my gut's telling me I don't deserve this, but my kids need to be raised in a family with their father. I said, great. I said, so, in life, we make what I would call either good choices, better choices, or the best choices. good choices, better choices, or the best choices. I said to her, I said, if you were in a house with your children and the house caught on fire, what would be the best option for that scenario? What would be the best outcome? She paused and thought and said, well, me and my children get out. I said, that's a good option, maybe a better option, depends on how you look at it. I said, but is that the best option? She said, well, wow, I don't know what's better than that. I said, so let's walk through it. The best option in that scenario is that you and your children walk out of the house, but you're also able to save the house. She said, oh. I said, so then the house is your marriage. You're you, your children's your children. I said, that's the best option. I said, given that, what's a better option? Right? Good, better, best. We've covered the best option. What's the second tier option? What's the better option? She thought and she said, well, if me and my children survive. I said, exactly. If you and your children survive and you lose the house, that's a better option. Correct? She said, yeah. I said, cool. I said, so then what's a good option? She thought about it and said, well, I love my kids. A good option in my mind, as a parent would be to sacrifice my life for my kids. And so a good option would be if my kids make it and I don't make it. I said, you're spot on. A good option is that they survive, you die in the house, with the house, but they survive, they live, and they go on. Correct? She said, yes. I said, this is how you should approach your decision. I said, if the house is your marriage, a good option is for you, if you really want to stay in the marriage, endure emotional abuse, endure infidelity, the introduction of new kids outside of your marriage, then just die in the marriage and let your kids go on. She looked at me stonewall, literally, and said, I never thought about this way. I said, let's go further. What's a better option? Better option is for you to grab your kids in this burning house and to jump out the house. If you lose the house, you lose the house, but you can recover and get a new house. She looked at me, shook her head, and simply said, wow. I never had a client say wow as many times as she did. Wow. So that's a better option. I said, the best option is that you grab the kids yourself, you flee from the house, you are able to put the fire out, and you can save the house. So my question to you again is, does he want to get therapy and coaching and counseling? She said, no. I said, what is he doing to indicate that he wants to have a different set of behaviors so that you can have a healthy situation in front of your children? She said, not much of anything. He's pretty comfortable, probably because I made him comfortable. And then she said something very powerful. She said, and Doc, I feel dumb for taking what I'm taking, but I'm doing it for my kids. I said, ma'am, I wouldn't call you dumb. But what I am going to say to you is that what you're describing to me is a very common thing. There are a lot of people who use their kids as a crutch to stay in bad situations under the guise of, I want them to be raised around mommy and daddy. But the reality of the matter is, your children are in a house that's burning. Fire produces carbon monoxide, and they're inhaling the drama of your marriage, which in turn causes them to grow up and have toxic or dysfunctional relationships because they grew up in a house that was always on fire. She said, wow, again for like the 50th time. And literally at that point started crying. I said to her, we all make choices. I said, and there's a fourth choice that I did not cover. She said, what's that? I said, that's the choice called a bad choice. She said, what would it be in this scenario? The bad choice would be that you stay in the house, your kids stay in the house, all of y'all die in the house, and the house burns down. Now we don't have a marriage, you or the kids. She cried a little bit harder. I said, I'm not trying to make this gruesome, but hear me. In life, we have good, better, best, and bad choices. When you understand that sometimes you have to salvage the life of your kids in order and make difficult decisions in order to preserve the best life for them possible. Is it easy? No. But this idea that children grow up dysfunctional because they have to grow up without a parent or only in a single parent home is only an idea. We all have countless examples of people who, for one reason or another, had to grow up without both of their parents. Is that the best option in a healthy situation? Absolutely. Does it always happen? No. But please stop letting your children inhale carbon monoxide in a burning marriage, all for the sake of them growing up with both parents.
Hi, my beautiful people, my healing fam. Gina Chimesi here, your favorite psych nurse practitioner, coming to you again today with another video highlighting toxic relationship, high conflict relationship. Should I go? Should I stay? Everything in between, and how to heal and elevate after such relationships. If you choose to run, if you're staying well. In today's video, we're gonna highlight signs of being in a relationship that is considered being in struggle love. Back in the days, like in the early, back in the great grandmother's time, grandparents' time, really love was not a consideration for marriage. It was more of an agreement where, the woman is more of a property. This is why in some of our relationship as an African, as a Ghanaian woman, some women might experience their men telling them things such as, you're my property, especially if it's a, abusive relationship. Nobody should really be saying that. But some men in my culture think that because they paid the dowry price, now all of a sudden they own you. So you're there to labor for them. You're a maid, you're a mule, you're a chef, and then you bear children, you bear their legacy, but they're not really there to be an equal partner to you. You're also working 2025, you're working, bringing money to the home, paying a good number of the bills, and then doing all the heavy lifting of taking care of the kids. So how are you doing today? Have you ever experienced struggle love? Do you know anyone who's experiencing or have experienced struggle love? Do you have a sibling, a sister, a brother? How does it look like? So I jump on Google and did a quick Google search, and it says struggle love refers to a relationship where one partner constantly puts in significant, those are the words, one partner, significantly more effort than the other, often dealing with their partner's personal issues and lack of stability, creating a dynamic that is imbalanced or unbalanced and can be considered unhealthy and toxic. This is why I talk about toxic relationships on my channel. What are some of the signs to recognize? Because some of this stuff really should be taught in high school. You know how many high school relationships are toxic as hell? A lot of these kids need to learn this thing, so they are getting into college, getting into long-term committed relationship. They know when to see, okay, first, second sign, I'm out. Preserve, self-preservation, preserving yourself and your children, thinking you're staying for the kids. Sometimes some of this toxic relationship, it's not the best because they are mimicking. It's not what you say, but it's what you do, your actions. How's mom treating dad? How's dad treating mom? They are looking. You can tell them till the cows come home, but is the home peaceful? Are you guys peaceful? Are you able to communicate? Are you able to resolve conflicts? So critical. It's so important for kids to see disagreements, which is great, but how do you repair? When you struggle love, that repair is not there. So back in those days, women are considered property because they are there to bear children, to produce more children. So the labor in the farms and everything is taken care of by that family. So the wealth of that family is multiplied because there are multiple children who are doing the labor and the farm. The woman is taking care of the home, all this stuff. Back in the days, women were not expected to really go out there and work and bring in the bacon. The man does all of that. So if a man has a woman and has children and has accumulation of wealth because of the labor, they have more status. But this has evolved as we go through the years. But men's mentality, a lot of men in the manosphere, the red pillars, the misogynistic men, their minds have not evolved as to what their roles are and women's roles are. They think going to work and providing money, but in this type of, temperature where everything is so expensive, you need both people in the marriage to go out and work and bring in the money. But if you're doing that as a woman and at the same time doing all the domestic labor and the man still thinks they just will go to work and come home and that's all they're supposed to do, then what is the incentive to be married? And you have this struggle of going on and it's highly toxic, chaotic. The woman is overwhelmed, overstressed, she's yelling, she's screaming at the kids. It's not her fault, but she's overwhelmed and the man has no empathy, no care, no attention, no special treatment. Even they can provide domestic labor in the home, can they assist to provide some money so they can hire help so that woman can get a little break at least a couple times a week, come take a break from cooking, maybe order in once or twice a week. Is that too much to ask? To have pizza night on Friday, I still have to jump in the kitchen and cook a whole meal, a whole jollof, like if you're part of my country, cooking jollof is a whole prep. Going to the African market, if you are in America or other parts of the world, well, not America, not Africa, you not only go into the regular store like Stop and Shop or whatever, Costco, but you still have to travel to an African market and get all the groceries there too. That's a lot of work. Sometimes you're tired on Friday or the evening, bringing the kids along because the man is not available. You don't have enough money to pay for a babysitter. You have to work all the way till 5. The daycare is closed. You have to pick up your kids. And now you're running to Stop and Shop, going to Costco, going to Big BJ's, go to Big Y. Then you're going to the African market. And the kids are yelling, you're stressed. And this is a constant thing that you have to do every week. Some of these women have to cook for the week, so they don't have to bother cooking for the week because they have to go to work and do all the work. And at the same time, at least that man is giving you love and kindness and attention and love.
If you're in a relationship and you're not happy and you're dealing with a narcissistic person in your life, I understand it's hard to get out. And I understand you're believing and getting convinced that they're always going to change, but they're not. I want you to know that you're going through abuse every day. And then the worst excuse is, I'm staying there for the kids. And I just look at you and be like, do you know how fucked up your kids are going to be if you just stay there? Do you think they want to see their mom going through depression, crying, and hurting herself because of the fact that she's sitting there taking this narcissistic person in their life? Same with the men. Nobody wants to see their parents hurt. But as soon as you see one either or in pain, these kids suffer more as they grow up. And you guys can't use that excuse anymore. It's just an excuse. And I know sometimes when you leave them, you're like, oh, I hope he has food on the table. I hope he has something. I hope he's warm. No, don't give a fuck about this person because they never gave a fuck about you. And they're always going to try to beg you back. They're always going to try to have you in your life again. You don't need that, sweetheart. You, my friend, you, sir, need to get out of that relationship. You, my queen, can't be treated like the way you are being treated every day. You are literally being treated like dog shit. You're a well-educated woman. You can make money. You can be independent. You can do whatever you want. If you have no money, you can find a way. There's always a way. But please don't bring the kids into this. I don't want to hear this anymore. These are all just excuses. And you could talk shit in my comments, but I'm telling you right now, it's just all bullshit to me. Get away from him. Take your kids with you. Let their mental health be safe as they grow older. Let them know how a real woman and real man should be treated. Let them know. Don't just sit there and let them take the pain and see everything, because it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt you.
People always say, stay for the kids. I'm not introducing my child to this kind of toxic love. I want to break the karmic cycle. I want to break the generational cycle. You want me to sit and do the same mistake all over again that everyone has been doing? Nope. My son needs to see healthy relationships, healthy kind of love. 100%. So I don't stay for the kids. I don't care. You don't even have to financially be part of my life when it comes to the kid. I will take everything and deal with it on my own. I just don't want my child next to anybody that's toxic. No, I will not stay for the kids.
I totally agree with that. And I think most people that say they'll stay for the kids is a cover-up for them being afraid to leave.
Yeah.
Because if your child is your highest intention, like to protect your child, you'll protect them from toxicity. You'll protect them from learning what a bad relationship looks like. And it doesn't necessarily need to be abusive.
Yeah.
Even if it's neglect, that's exposing your child to what relationships look like. If you're sleeping in separate bedrooms and your child wakes up every day to say, okay, so this is what love looks like. Guess who your daughter is going to date when she's 25 years old? She's going to date your husband.
Father,
she's going to feel neglected. She's going to pick someone who doesn't show love and affection and attention.
Yeah,
that's my take
the
on
children
it.
Always in toxic relationships. That's so true. I've seen it every single day. The children end up dating their parents, and when they meet people that are toxic, it reminds them of their parents. That's home.
Familiar.
That's love for me. That's familiar to me. So they will go to that. You are literally destroying your child's.
I get that your heart is in the right place and you're wanting to make a choice that is the most loving and caring for your kids. Real talk. Staying in a relationship you do not want to be in, that is not healthy or fulfilling for you, will teach them that that is what love is. And they will grow up to be people who feel that they must sacrifice themselves for other people in order to have love. And I do not think that is what you want to teach them. So if that is not what you want to teach them, then you have to develop some thick skin and know that in the short term, it's going to cause some harm and pain for them as you leave this relationship. But in the long term, you're going to be showing them that choosing yourself, creating a life that is fulfilling and nourishing for you, and going out and finding a love that actually you feel met by, like that is the better path both for you and for them long term.